Hey everybody, I'm Wyatt, and today we're going to take a look at a couple back issues that I got from Austin Books and Comics. Some Jack Kirby stuff. Also, yes, I shaved. Give it a couple weeks, it'll grow back. Alright, so let's get this started. So, super quick, ultra compact history lesson for those who may not know. Jack Kirby is the king of comics, and more or less there are three basic eras, I guess you could call them. There's his first time at Marvel, then he went over to DC for a little bit, and then he was at Marvel again. And these are from those last two, quote-unquote, eras. So we've got a couple of issues of Kamandi from when he was over at DC, and then a couple of issues of Machine Man from when he went back to Marvel. And all of these I got at Austin Books and Comics in Austin, Texas. Full disclosure, I do work part-time there. But this is not a sponsored video. This is not, these weren't provided for me by the store or anything. I purchased these and just felt like doing a video on them and showing them off. I tend to not consider myself a collector. I will open the bags and boards and look at the comics inside. So let's take. I'm very careful, but I will pop it open. In this era, you can really see. This is basically where Jack Kirby really started to nail down what we consider the Jack Kirby look. If you look at original issues of Avengers and X-Men, for his early days at Marvel, and especially like the original Captain America comics, super early, early days, you see a little bit of his Kirby style in there, but there are some aspects of his style back then that you could kind of see, they hadn't quite solidified into the Kirby style of very, very strong, sturdy characters and poses, and he really was one of the people that defined action in comics, and that's why we consider him the king of comics. He very much came up with a lot of the visual language for comics, and a lot of that you can see especially in his DC era. Just everybody in the foreground and then people in the background, and notice pretty much everyone is at the same eye line. There are a couple characters where he's standing a little bit higher and then these people are crouched down, but more or less, as much as there's going on in this panel, is still easily readable. With the Fantastic Four comics, Kirby was he could let loose in certain issues, but more or less he did have to pull it back a little bit. But with the comics like Kamandi and then later on Machine Man and Devil Dinosaur, he really was truly able to just go all out and do whatever he wanted. There's a Shamu joke in here somewhere. See, look at that. Look at that. You got one guy riding two dolphins, actually. He's like skiing on them. And then another man on a little rocket motorcycle jetpack thing, kind of. Not a jetpack, because it's not on his back. Whatever. Yeah, just look at this beautiful art. It's so well done. There it is. There's the cover. One thing that Kirby is often praised for, and rightfully so, is his ability and just the way he drew machinery and consoles and stuff like that. It looks it looks very futuristic, and yet you understand what it is. It's a control console, but it's very clearly not, 1960s or 1970s Earth, where it's got a bunch of little flips and switches and everything. It feels cosmic. It feels out of this world. It feels unique. And then, of course, there's Kirby Crackle all over these pages, and that's, for those who may not know, that's usually what we refer to, kind of like the little ink dots around here, usually denoting power. Oh, and then old school ads. Look at those. Now let's take a look at Machine Man. 10-4, the Mean Machine. 10-4, the Mean Machine. Yeah, look at that. And this is something Like I mentioned before, these later years are really when Kirby started to become what we consider the Kirby style. He's starting to get more playful with layouts like this, so where he can do 2-page spreads and just have a little bit more fun and a little bit more craziness going on in the panels and then in the panel layouts. See, there's a little bit more Kirby crackle down there, like I mentioned. See, it makes it feel powerful. And all these strong poses and all these strong characters, they just look powerful. And, if you saw, a lot of you, I'm sure, saw Thor Ragnarok. So a lot of the Jack Kirby feel, that's one of the great things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is that it strives to adapt and be faithful to a lot of that original source material from the comics, and especially Jack Kirby. But if you watch Thor Ragnarok especially, so like the entire cinematic universe, of course, adapts and tries to stay faithful to Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and all these other great creators. But Ragnarok specifically, the planet Sakaar is very much a Kirby drawing brought to life. A lot of the architecture and everything is very Kirby-esque, and especially in a couple of the backgrounds, they're just straight up Kirby art used as wallpaper, basically. And there's even a couple shots in the movie where, so when Hela first comes through that portal to meet Thor and Loki, you'll notice that the portal she's coming out of is made of Kirby dots. It's like a 3D rendering of all of these little dots here. And I thought that was such a beautiful detail to keep in that. So now Kirby dots are confirmed for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then here's issue 6. And so you just look at that again with the machinery. Look how weird and crazy, and yet it reads as machinery. It doesn't read as anything organic. Ooh, that is so beautiful. Look at all that. Beautiful art. Beautiful, beautiful art. And another thing specifically, too, that some creators will point out is that Jack Kirby not only helped define and reshape the visual language of comics, but a lot of his stuff is all action. It's not violence. There's a difference between action and violence. All of this is action. As brutal as it can be and as powerful as these characters are, it feels fun. It feels exciting. He's jumping on springs and he's coming in for a slam and they're punching each other like that. And violence is a little bit more visceral and, just what you would see in a rated R movie, basically. But Jack Kirby did a really great job at making it feel exciting and powerful and fun, ultimately. Like, even though you're watching the hero get beat up here and, getting his arm broken and all that stuff. I mean, one, he's a machine, so, like, it's not necessarily that, he's not as frail as a normal human being. And even then, it's still fun. It's still, bright and colorful and action-packed. That's just how his work is. And then we end with beautiful space. And so that is Machine Man issue 6, Machine Man issue 3, and Kamandi, Last Boy on Earth, issues 23 and 19. And don't worry, I will be putting these back in the bags and boards. I like to, I like to take these out every now and then and look at them and study them. And since I myself, make comics, I try to learn from the people that came before me. I definitely wasn't alive when a lot of these came out, but I grew up with a lot of the original comics that I had picked up from, antique shops and, just my own friends and family giving them to me over the years. And so, as much as I love modern comics, there's still a lot to learn from the originals and from the original creators. If there's a local comic shop by you, and especially if you want to make comics, definitely go look for some back issues and, you know, see what you can find and see what you can learn. There's a lot to learn, especially from Jack Kirby and from many other creators and comics out there. There's a lot to learn, there's a lot to read. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe for future videos. And if you want to see more back issue hauls when I go get back issues, leave me a comment below. Leave me a comment. I totally butchered that, but I've done like 10 takes, so screw it. This is the best it's getting. Take it easy, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.